Jimmy Uso just pulled off the greatest character transformation in WWE history, and half the wrestling world still doesn't realize what they witnessed. While everyone was obsessing over Roman Reigns' championship reign and Jey Uso's emotional journey, Jimmy quietly orchestrated the most compelling family drama WWE has produced in decades. And he did it by being the one person brave enough to tell the truth when everyone else was living a lie. You think you understand the Bloodline story. You think Roman was the mastermind and Jey was the heart. You're wrong. Jimmy Uso was the conscience, the voice of reason, and ultimately the catalyst that prevented WWE from making the biggest creative mistake of the modern era. What I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see not just the Bloodline saga, but Jimmy's entire career and his position as one of the most underrated performers of this generation. Right now, WWE is desperately trying to rewrite history and pretend that the Bloodline's success was always part of some master plan. But the truth is far more interesting and gives Jimmy Uso credit for saving a storyline that was heading straight for disaster. Without his authentic reactions, his genuine emotion, and his willingness to be the uncomfortable truth teller in a family of enablers, the Bloodline would have collapsed under the weight of its own contradictions years ago. The criminal undervaluation of Jimmy Uso's contributions to wrestling's biggest storyline isn't just an oversight, it's a systematic erasure of one of the most nuanced and compelling character arcs in recent memory. While everyone else in the Bloodline was playing archetypes, Jimmy was being human. While they were following scripts, he was creating genuine moments that made people believe in the reality of what they were watching. But here's what's going to make your blood boil. WWE's current direction suggests they learned absolutely nothing from Jimmy's masterclass in authentic storytelling. Instead of building on the foundation he helped create, they're already moving toward the same formulaic approaches that make wrestling feel manufactured and soulless. Jimmy Uso gave them a blueprint for how to make wrestling matter again, and they're about to throw it all away for the next shiny object. The revisionist history around the Bloodline's development has conveniently forgotten that Jimmy Uso was the first member of the family to show cracks in the facade. Long before Jey's emotional breakdown became the focal point of the storyline, Jimmy was subtly indicating through his expressions, his body language, and his reactions that something wasn't right with this new family dynamic. He was the canary in the coal mine, warning audiences that this seemingly perfect alliance was built on a foundation of manipulation and fear. Watch those early Bloodline segments again. Really watch them, and you'll see Jimmy doing something remarkable. While Roman was establishing his dominance and Jey was gradually being broken down, Jimmy was providing the emotional context that made the whole story work. His conflicted expressions, his hesitant participation, his obvious discomfort with the direction things were heading, these weren't scripted moments. These were the reactions of a performer who understood the story better than the people writing it. The twin dynamic between Jimmy and Jey became the emotional core of the Bloodline saga, but it only worked because Jimmy established himself as the more skeptical, more grounded brother from the beginning. While Jey was susceptible to Roman's manipulation because of his desire for family approval, Jimmy's resistance provided the tension that made their eventual alignment feel earned rather than inevitable. The media completely missed the significance of Jimmy's early objections to the Bloodline's methods. When he questioned Roman's tactics or expressed concern about the direction the family was heading, it wasn't just plot advancement, it was Jimmy Uso serving as the audience's voice within the story. He was saying what viewers were thinking, providing the moral center that prevented the storyline from becoming just another heel faction takeover. This is where Jimmy's genius becomes obvious. He understood that for the Bloodline to work as a compelling story rather than just a power fantasy, someone had to represent the cost of Roman's rise. Someone had to show that achieving dominance through fear and manipulation comes with real consequences, real pain, and real moral compromise. Jimmy volunteered to be that someone, and in doing so, he elevated everyone else in the story. The technical aspects of Jimmy's performance during the Bloodline era demonstrate just how skilled he is as a storyteller. His ability to convey internal conflict through subtle expressions, his timing when it came to showing support or hesitation, his chemistry with different family members depending on the context. These are master-class examples of professional wrestling as character work rather than just athletic performance. But here's where WWE's treatment of Jimmy becomes infuriating. Instead of recognizing his contributions and building future storylines around his proven ability to ground fantastic elements in emotional reality, they've largely moved on to other projects without properly acknowledging what he accomplished. It's as if they stumbled onto lightning in a bottle and then immediately forgot how to harness electricity. The international reaction to Jimmy's work during the Bloodline storyline tells a story that we's domestic metrics might not fully capture. In markets where subtlety and emotional nuance are more valued than bombastic entertainment, Jimmy's performances were consistently highlighted as the most compelling aspects of the entire saga. International wrestling media praised his ability to make American wrestling feel authentic and emotionally resonant in ways that translated across cultural boundaries. Yet WWE's current creative direction suggests they view Jimmy's contributions as interchangeable with any other performer's work. They're treating one of their most naturally gifted character actors like he's just another body in the tag team division, missing the opportunity to capitalize on someone who has proven he can elevate any storyline through authentic emotional performance. The tag team work that originally established Jimmy and Jey as legitimate stars feels almost quaint compared to what Jimmy accomplished during the Bloodline era. Not because their earlier work wasn't excellent. It absolutely was, but because Jimmy's character development during the family storyline revealed depths and abilities that most wrestlers never get the chance to display. He went from being half of a great tag team to being one of the most compelling individual performers in the company. The Usos' championship runs were impressive from an athletic and entertainment standpoint, but they pale in comparison to the character work Jimmy did while navigating the Bloodline's complex family dynamics. His ability to show loyalty and doubt simultaneously, to support his family while questioning their methods, to maintain his essential character while adapting to dramatically different circumstances, these are skills that separate good wrestlers from great performers. The missed opportunities for Jimmy's character development post-Bloodline represent some of the most frustrating creative decisions in recent WWE history. Instead of using his proven ability to ground outlandish storylines in emotional reality, WWE has largely relegated him back to standard tag team programming that doesn't utilize his most valuable skills. It's like discovering someone can paint masterpieces and then asking them to only paint houses. The comparison between Jimmy's subtle, nuanced character work and the broader trends in WWE programming reveals just how rare and valuable his approach actually is. In an era where wrestling often feels overproduced and artificial, Jimmy's ability to find genuine human moments within fantastic circumstances makes him incredibly valuable. Yet WWE seems more interested in performers who fit predetermined molds than those who can transcend them through authentic emotional work. The business metrics around Jimmy's individual appeal during the Bloodline era tell a story that WWE's creative team appears to have ignored. His social media engagement, merchandise sales, and fan reaction data all indicated that audiences connected with him as an individual performer, not just as half of a tag team. This individual appeal should have translated into more featured storylines and character development opportunities, but WWE seems to have missed these signals entirely. The backstage stories about Jimmy's professionalism and work ethic during the Bloodline's most intense creative periods paint a picture of someone who understood the assignment better than almost anyone else involved. While other performers struggled with the complex family dynamics and shifting allegiances, Jimmy consistently found ways to make his character's choices feel authentic and emotionally resonant. This kind of creative intelligence and emotional sophistication should be rewarded with increased opportunities, not taken for granted. The cultural impact of Jimmy's work within the Bloodline extends far beyond wrestling entertainment. His portrayal of a family member struggling with loyalty, moral compromise, and individual identity resonated with audiences who recognized similar dynamics in their own lives. This kind of universal emotional connection is incredibly rare in professional wrestling, yet WWE has largely moved on without exploring how to recreate or build upon this success. The technical wrestling ability that Jimmy displayed throughout his career gets overshadowed by his character work, but it's worth noting that he's also one of the most fundamentally sound performers in the company. His in-ring psychology, his understanding of match structure, and his ability to tell stories through physical action complement his character work in ways that make him a complete performer. Few wrestlers can excel in both areas to the degree that Jimmy has demonstrated. The family legacy that Jimmy carries as part of the Anoa wrestling dynasty adds another layer to his appeal and marketability. He represents the continuation of one of wrestling's most storied families while also establishing his own unique identity as a performer. This combination of heritage and individual achievement should make him incredibly valuable from both a storytelling and marketing perspective. The chemistry Jimmy has displayed with various partners and opponents throughout his career demonstrates his versatility as a performer. Whether he's working with Jey, Roman, other members of the Bloodline, or complete outsiders, he consistently finds ways to create compelling dynamics and memorable moments. This kind of adaptability is increasingly rare and valuable in an era where wrestlers often struggle to maintain their effectiveness when removed from familiar contexts. The promo work that Jimmy delivered during the Bloodline's most emotional segments showcased verbal skills that many fans hadn't fully appreciated during his earlier tag team focus. His ability to convey complex emotions through both words and delivery, to make scripted dialogue feel spontaneous and authentic, and to hold his own alongside some of WWE's most accomplished talkers revealed another dimension of his talent that should be utilized more frequently. The current landscape of WWE's main event picture creates obvious opportunities for someone with Jimmy's proven ability to elevate storylines through authentic character work. As the company moves beyond the Bloodline era and looks for new ways to create compelling television, Jimmy's skill set makes him an ideal candidate for featured programs that require emotional depth and genuine human connection. The streaming content opportunities that WWE continues to explore are perfect for someone with Jimmy's combination of personality, authenticity, and camera presence. His natural charisma translates perfectly to interview settings, behind-the-scenes content, and documentary-style programming. Yet WWE has barely scratched the surface of Jimmy's potential in these formats, missing opportunities to build his individual brand and connect with audiences in new ways. The international expansion that WWE prioritizes makes Jimmy's underutilization even more puzzling. His emotional authenticity and genuine personality translate across cultural boundaries in ways that make him perfect for global audiences. Wrestling fans around the world responded to his work in the Bloodline because authentic human emotion is universal, yet WWE seems more focused on performers with more limited international appeal. The merchandise potential that remains largely untapped represents another missed opportunity for both Jimmy and WWE. His individual appeal during the Bloodline era should have translated into signature products, exclusive collaborations, and targeted marketing campaigns. Instead, he's largely remained tied to Uso's branded merchandise that doesn't fully capitalize on his individual fanbase and appeal. The demographic reach that Jimmy has proven he can achieve extends beyond wrestling's traditional audience in ways that should make him incredibly valuable to WWE's expansion efforts. His authentic personality and emotional accessibility appeal to casual viewers who might not connect with more stereotypical wrestling characters. This crossover potential should be aggressively developed and marketed. The creative flexibility that Jimmy brings to any storyline should make him one of WWE's most valued performers for long-term planning. His ability to adapt his character to different circumstances while maintaining his essential authenticity means he can be plugged into various programs without losing what makes him special. This kind of versatility is incredibly rare and should be treated as a major asset. The legacy implications of WWE's treatment of Jimmy during this crucial period of his career will become more apparent as time passes. He's currently in his prime as a performer, capable of carrying major storylines and delivering memorable moments. But windows of opportunity don't stay open forever, and every month that passes with Jimmy underutilized is a month that can never be recovered. The fan investment in Jimmy's individual success is evident in the consistent reactions he receives and the ongoing social media support for his character development. This kind of organic fan connection is incredibly valuable and should be nurtured through featured programming and character-focused storylines. When audiences are clearly invested in someone's success, ignoring that investment is both creatively and financially short-sighted. The comparison between Jimmy's authentic emotional work and the broader trends toward manufactured entertainment in WWE programming highlights just how rare and valuable his approach actually is. In an industry that often prioritizes spectacle over substance, Jimmy's ability to create genuine human moments makes him stand out in ways that should be celebrated and emulated. The current moment represents a crossroads for both Jimmy and WWE. He's proven everything that can possibly be proven about his value as a performer, his ability to elevate storylines, and his appeal to audiences across different demographics and markets. The question is whether WWE will recognize these proven assets and build around them, or whether they'll continue to underutilize someone who has already demonstrated he can be a cornerstone performer. The business case for featuring Jimmy more prominently becomes stronger every time you examine the metrics that actually matter in modern entertainment. From social media engagement to international appeal to authentic audience connection, he consistently delivers results that should translate into increased opportunities and featured positioning. The technical skills, character work, emotional authenticity, and proven ability to elevate storylines that Jimmy has displayed throughout his career, and especially during the Bloodline era, represent a combination of talents that's incredibly rare in professional wrestling. WWE has spent years trying to manufacture these qualities in other performers while largely taking for granted someone who possesses them naturally. The time for WWE to fully recognize and capitalize on Jimmy Uso's proven value is running out. He's delivered everything they could ask for from a performer: athletic ability, character work, emotional authenticity, fan connection, and the ability to make storylines feel real and important. The question isn't whether he deserves better opportunities, the evidence for that is overwhelming. The question is whether WWE will recognize what they have before it's too late to fully realize the potential of one of their most complete and compelling performers. The story of Jimmy Uso's career will ultimately serve as a perfect example of how talent recognition and creative opportunity can align to create something special, or how they can miss each other entirely and waste obvious potential. He represents everything that makes professional wrestling compelling when it's done right: authentic emotion, genuine human connection, and the ability to make fantastic storylines feel real and important. The evidence is clear, the fan investment is obvious, and the opportunities are there. All that's missing is the vision and commitment to build around someone who has already proven he can deliver everything WWE claims to value in their performers. Jimmy Uso saved the Bloodline from creative disaster and gave WWE a blueprint for authentic storytelling. The question is whether they're smart enough to recognize the gift they've been given and build around it before it's too late.